And welcome to the No Assembly Required podcast, a podcast where we talk about nothing every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time-ish. And now your trio of host for the evening, Hurricane Romina, Audrey LA-bound Ember, and of course, your favorite Dark Lord of the Internet, Roberto Blake. Welcome to the No Assembly Required podcast. Please like and subscribe. Film in front of a live YouTube audience. Welcome to the show, everybody.
Hello.
How well?
So right before we started recording, we were in a heated discussion because our dearest Audrey hasn't seen either of the Goofy movies.
I can't be the one. Or at least she doesn't remember. No?
No.
Did you just refer to yourself? Wait, what?
So
what did you just say?
She just referred to herself in the third person.
Okay, did I? Okay, I thought I was like...
Wait, what?
No, you weren't imagining
it. I can't be the only one.
Oh.
Is that third person?
No, I thought for a minute, we thought you said Audrey can't be the only one.
No, I did not say
that. No, I mean, obviously you're not the only one. I'm sure there's plenty of people who, you know, either don't have access to the internet or cable television and have not seen it.
Not if they're watching this program.
Don't do that turtle thing. you're where you like hide in the shell. You're like
turtle.
So the reason that this came up, you know, aside from the fact that Goofy
Why did you start talking about that?
Well,
because
I'm trying to explain.
You're going on a road trip. You're going on an adventure.
This is why I'm trying to explain it, Audrey. Okay. So the reason it came up is because our dearest Audrey is westbound. Well, it's not yet, but she will be soon. She is moving, and it reminded me of Goofy and Max in a Goofy movie doing a little road trip, doing some father-son bonding because Audrey will be going with her dad. The son. Yeah, Audrey is the son. She is Max. Yes. Maximilian. Mm-hmm. So, Audrey, do you want to tell us about your life and how you are winning at life?
I'm not. What are you talking about? I'm stressed.
Did you or did you not just go for a run because you're in your Nike running gear? All right, so that's winning at life as far as I'm concerned. I take that back then. Because I was going to kudos you on winning at life by going for a run, but I now have to renege. So
I dress like this so that I get inspired to go run, and then I forgot.
Oh, Lord.
The day's not over. I might still run downstairs or something.
Run downstairs?
Uh-huh. Right.
On the treadmill.
Oh, okay.
Run
downstairs to the kitchen.
Oh, yeah. That counts as my run for today.
Lord, have mercy.
Roberto, have you been running?
I've been walking.
Nice.
Okay.
Well, when you're 36 and you have old man knees, that's what you do.
Oh.
My dad would disagree with that one.
Let's each their own. We can't all be Casey. Casey's still killing it. Like,
that's
and
true.
mad props to him.
Casey's crazy with
Granted,
that.
he does have like a titanium knee, so I think my point stands. I think my point stands.
He's got an advantage. Wait, would that help with knee pain to like eliminate it completely?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Because I would imagine that causes pain in the other parts of your legs. I mean, I'd have to ask him.
Yeah.
I'd have to ask him. But that'd be rude, right? Like to ask somebody about their
titanium in your knee help you run.
Yeah, it's like, do you have an advantage as a cyborg, or is it a detriment?
I have a funny question.
Do you have an advantage?
Yeah, because I mean, you are a cyborg, right? Like, so.
Yeah.
Don't make me run.
The life hack.
Life hack is
get titanium
surgery.
The life hack is become more machine than man.
The
and Audrey should finally know that reference now. You should finally know that reference now. Oh, he's more machine than man. Tell me you know that reference now, Audrey.
Give me a hint.
He's more machine now than man.
I'm so bad at this.
We just gave her the same thing.
You give me the same hint though, but
oh my god.
Wait,
give her another one, Roberto.
Well, this is the one that applies to the thing that we're talking about.
Yeah, but if you're gonna help her out,
okay, fine. And here's another one for you. that one.
Yes. Wait, I said Back to the Future. Am I wrong?
Let me. That's not true. That's impossible.
Audrey's turtle.
Wow.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Star Wars.
Oh, obviously
He's
I wasn't
more machine than man. He's more machine now than man is a reference to Lord Vader, and the is Luke getting his hand chopped off, which is then replaced by a cybernetic hand.
Well, you should have done.
And then the other one with and then what was the other? What was the other hint?
She was asleep. She was asleep in most of those that she watched.
And then what was the other hint I gave her?
I already forgot. It was just so good. I was really, invested in the emotion.
Yeah.
It was Oscar worthy, really. Well, maybe not Oscar worthy, maybe like Emmy worthy.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, obviously.
But you've seen them recently.
No. She marathoned them and she was asleep for most of them.
For a lot of them, for like 3.
For like 3? That's half of them, Audrey. What?
You gotta sleep. I was sleeping.
You gotta sleep. All right, well then sleep.
Not
Don't watch.
during Star Wars. That is blasphemy.
But after you watch like 4 of them, you're kind of over it.
Oh boy.
No.
Nick Strode in the chat says that he's leaving you 1 star because you didn't get this.
Whoops.
Oh man, you just tanked the entire
That
podcast,
really
Audrey.
You just
destroyed
Audrey,
the entire podcast, Audrey. Congratulations.
I'm canceling everything.
Whoops.
I'm deleting the entire thing.
It's over. It's over.
Wow.
It's game over, man.
Speaking about Anakin Skywalker and Luke and all of the Star Wars people.
Segue.
All right. Would you say that Anakin Skywalker was winning at life?
He was until he wasn't.
You mean he was until most of his body was charred?
Arguably, I don't think he was, because to be honest with you, like, he did not have actually a very good life. It may have seemed that way. Yeah, he was rescued from slavery on Tatooine. He did get to go to the Capitol and train as a Jedi, but he was ostracized by the other Jedi students. They actually sometimes talked behind his back about the fact that he was a slave, and he would get emotional. The rest of them were all indoctrinated to be child soldiers, so they all didn't question anything. He was always out of line, always speaking out of turn, and always invested in his feelings, whereas they were very detached. And even the person that he thought was his friend and his mentor was manipulating him. His fellow Jedi didn't trust him and didn't think of him as a brother. He had the hero worship of the people, but he wasn't really allowed to befriend them and had to be part of his monk cult. And then the one person that actually really gave a damn about him as a person and not what he could do for them, because the Jedi were all about what he could do for them. Palpatine, his supposed friend and mentor, was all about what he could do for him. Padme was the only one who actually gave a damn about him as a person and treated him like a person, and he loved her for that. She's the only one, even even in the very beginning when he was a child, she didn't treat him like a tool and she didn't treat him like a slave. She treated him like a person, because even then the Jedi only were using him so he could win them the parts for their ship, and then because they thought he might be the chosen one. So he only really had one person that actually cared about him, and ultimately everybody else manipulated and twisted him so much that he couldn't even see through that and ended up ruining it at all. So he had like, he wasn't winning, not really. It looked like it if you were an outsider of, oh, he's the hero of the war, everybody worships him. Oh, he's the youngest person ever put on the council. Oh, he has the ear of the chancellor, the most powerful man in the galaxy. Oh, he has this great destiny and this great future. No, he's a living, walking tragedy for how things always look good from the outside.
He was faking it.
Yeah, he was faking it. He was, you know, yeah. I mean, he wasn't, I mean, I wouldn't argue he was not faking it. He was always like scowling and angry. So I don't know how much he was faking it, but I would say it's like someone would look at Anakin's situation and think he was privileged and powerful. And the thing is, he's a walking freaking disaster. He's a tragedy. His entire life's a damn tragedy. Lucas even said that the entire Star Wars saga is just the tragedy of Anakin Skywalker. He wrote as an opera that he said I should have just called it The Tragedy of Anakin Skywalker.
I kind of like that. It's very dramatic.
Yeah, it's very Macbeth. It's like, yeah, his whole thing is kind of like Macbeth.
Yeah. How are you feeling about your move, Audrey? Aside from stressed.
I mean, I'm really excited, but I'm also, it's like stressed, excited, both at the same time, you know? But I'm driving out there, so that's going to be interesting.
On the open road.
Yeah. Like, we're dropping my brother off in Colorado, and then we're going to keep going, so.
What's he doing there?
Well, he's going to college.
Oh.
Colorado AMM or like?
No, U of Denver.
Okay. Nice.
Wow. So your parents are going to have a very interesting fall.
Yes.
Oh, they're going to be empty nesters. They're going to be complete empty nesters now? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, because they're taking a road trip. They're dropping off one of them, and then the other one's going even further.
Yep. I know. That's going to definitely be interesting. I don't know how that's going to work out.
How are your parents handling it? Like, what are they saying?
Yeah, you think you're freaking out. How are they doing?
I mean, they're probably also freaking out. They're just not trying to show it to me as much, you know? But no, like, they used to live in LA, so at least they're kind of familiar with, like, the city. I think that helps a little bit, but
yeah,
I don't know. Like, it's kind of different because, like, my brother's going to school, so he's still, like, he's gonna have to come back at Thanksgiving because they're closing, like, it's online, I think, after Thanksgiving, which doesn't make sense, but okay.
Wait. So he's going back to be in class in person.
He has
until
one
November.
in-person class.
He has one in-person
like that.
class.
I know. It's literally a scam. Like, they're like,
right, so
they're
they want
board,
him
and
to
then
go there,
you have
right?
one
So that
person.
he's.
But you have to, like, it's required for a freshman.
By them requiring it during a pandemic and doing that clearly for money, it shows that it's all just a racket and that it's a scam. It's a racket. Because the thing about
They have to, because they have to.
I mean, he could just stay. Why does he have to go? If they are fully capable of doing all of his classes online.
There's a lot of schools who are doing the same thing.
Well,
like,
then they're wrong, and then they're wrong. And no, I'm saying it. Then they're wrong, and they're putting
just have Roberto call them.
They're
You're
wrong. They're wrong. They're putting profits over people, and the only reason they're doing it is because they don't want to paint themselves in the corner of having to legitimize online education. Because if they have to legitimize online education, then they'll get called out for their price gouging and scam of putting profits over people, and on the fact that their thing. It's not that it has no value, and yes, there are certain degrees and professions, doctor, nurse, like blah 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 lawyer that you have to. But the reality is that it's overpriced. It's overpriced. They can give people their main core stuff over the internet, especially if you're a damn freshman, and it's a scam so that they can get the most money possible, and so that they also can keep getting and qualifying for certain government funding. It's all a freaking racketeering scheme. It's a freaking pyramid scheme. And people are afraid to call it out, and people who have to justify and validate their experience and their degrees, or want to invalidate other people's lived experiences, they have to defend the sanctity of college, and they have to defend their $75,000 of debt. They have to say that it's worth it, and they have to say that it's legitimate, and they have to say that anybody who calls it out is a fraud, because otherwise they look stupid. Yep, sorry, that was a rant. I'm sorry about that.
No, I mean, it's so true though. And there's a lot of schools that they've gone back and now they're already home because like there's a party or something, and it's crazy because they're not getting refunds.
They don't want to get sued. Some of them are like, oh crap, because some of them are forcing people to sign waivers in case they get COVID, because they're like, oh well, you can't. We're gonna mandate that you have to come if you want to get your acceptance. We're not gonna let you defer, but we're not gonna let you take a gap year. But you also can't sue us. That's how you know it's a scam.
Okay, so rewinding here for a second. He's going there in order to take the one class that's in person. But he has to come back in Thanksgiving because there's no more courses for him to take for the remainder of the year in person.
I'm not completely sure. I might be a little bit wrong, but I know there's something about him coming back until the end of the year for sure. I'm pretty sure. And then he might be going back like after Christmas. I don't know why. I guess they're expecting COVID to be worse then or something. I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
Who are these fortune tellers?
I know.
Where are they getting their predictions from?
They're getting guidance in that when that's not a fortune teller thing. That's that flu season is usually already bad that time of year.
Okay, you're right.
It's that's not a prediction thing off of nothing. Not to mention that at least for a lot of places, and you saw, well, I don't know if you paid attention to what's happened here in Georgia, but we didn't flatten the damn curve. It's exponentially increased.
UGA is a mess. I don't know if you guys like. I've seen some stuff about UGA, which is like one of the biggest public schools in Georgia, and it's just a mess over there. Like, it's not going well.
Well, some of the the high schools are already having a problem, and there was that young lady who called them out and took the photo, but she didn't post it till after hours, and the school tried to suspend her for exposing them. Yeah. So again, another scam. Like, sorry, like it's like, oh, you actually have a situation that really actually endangers young people, and you decided to go this route, not because it really had any real value. There's no reason they had to do this. They didn't have to do it. There's plenty of places that are not doing this, and virtual is not perfect and inconvenient, but that's just because, again, they have always worked, the education establishment, and I have nothing against the teachers. It's more the administration, the higher levels of this. They have worked so hard for the last 10 years to delegitimize online learning and alternatives to tradition and convention, because they feel that it threatens them and it threatens the validity of what they do, instead of letting it complement it the way that really could, and instead of adapting. Instead of adapting. And where has that gotten us this entire time? Like, you want to talk about winning in life, you win at life by adapting.
Oof. Yeah. Like the Borg.
Like the what?
Borg.
Star Trek. Come on. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me, Smalls. And she doesn't know that reference either.
Oh. What are we going to do? All right. Well, our homework is to watch.
I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
At least watch a goofy movie. You don't have to watch extremely goofy movie right now, but watch a goofy movie. It's probably like 80 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
I can't even refer an extremely goofy movie due to lack of Roxanne. I said it. I stand by it. I stand by it. I stand by it because Max and Roxanne are freaking adorable, and I refuse to let it go.
All right. Well, now we know that Roberto doesn't let go of things.
No one here is shocked, by the way.
Moving on. Audrey, I have some questions for you. And feel free to answer whatever you would like. And if you want to, stay private on some matters, then feel free to do so. But I'm curious to know, what is your living condition going to be like? Please don't tell us where you're going to live. What is
I'm living on this
what is it going to be like? Is it a house? Is it an apartment? How many people, etc.?
Yeah. So I have 3 roommates, so there's 4 of us in a 2-bed, 2-bath apartment.
So you're gonna be sharing a room?
Yes. Which is gonna be fun. No, but I mean it's fine. Like I feel like when I've had to share rooms in the past, like in college, I mean last time I was really lucky I had a good roommate. But this, like my friend, she's pretty cool, so hopefully it'll be good. I don't know. I feel like I've kind of known that this was gonna happen for a while, so I don't really care.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess my next question for you is, what's your exit strategy?
Don't
fold your eyes.
I signed a year lease, so
okay.
Can't really exit that without breaking it. But
now what's your plan long term? Because I know that you have this idea of eventually going to live in Canada at some point in your life. Now, and that's because you have family, and it's like, it makes sense for you to have that kind of as in your back pocket. But what do you see Los Angeles as? Again, answer whatever you feel comfortable with, because we're publicly information. So if you don't want to say anything personal, then don't. But I'm just curious to know, like, what are your long-term plans as far as Los Angeles? Like, you just want to go there, try it out for a couple years, or do you think like you're going to be there for a while because you want to build a career out there? Like, what's your plan aside from going and having fun and living with 3 other people?
Living your best life.
Right.
Well, I don't really know. I'm pretty.
And by the way, I am responding to the chats while we do this.
Okay.
That's all the typing you're hearing, guys.
Sorry about that. I'll try and mute when I'm doing that.
I mean, I kind of want to go there for the next, like, probably 5 years. I don't really know. I feel like it's weird to predict, but I definitely want to stay somewhere because I've kind of been jumping around for the past, like, 2 or 3 years. So if I could stay there for, like, maybe 5 years or something,
In California or Canada?
In California.
In California. Because I'm asking her what her LA plan is.
Okay, so California.
I think Canada is like to settle down, kind of like further in the future. So I'm asking her what her LA plan is. Like, why is she going out there? How long she plans to be there? What she wants to get from it,
Okay. Well, I'm going out there because I want to move out for sure. And I have like most of my friends, ironically, are out there right now. Or like I have college friends out there. I have some YouTube friends there, and a lot of my friends go through there too, who are like people.
I mean, if it wasn't for the current virus,
me
and Romina probably would have been out there 4 or 5 times by now.
Yeah.
And
heck, we probably would have helped you move.
That too.
Oh my god.
We could have like rented a bus. And like all of us and your pops just like go there.
My dad.
You and your pops and your brother, and we throw your brother out the back, and we're like, all right, we're here.
And we would have like filmed it, and we would have done like all the things. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we would have like had a housewarming party for you and like all the
yeah, and legit, we would have broken like I would have like bought some champagne. We would have like christened the apartment. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, that would be fun.
I would have invited.
Yeah, that would have been fun. You know what? Instead of doing that, what happens is when you leave LA, you call us.
Oh my god, that's sad.
We'll make it a big deal. No, we're gonna make it like a thing. You're going on to the next phase in your life. You know, you call us. We'll show up with the champagne.
If she decides to live in British Columbia for Canada, we'd literally just drive north.
Heck yeah,
that'd be a nice drive.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
it's no different than the drive from. It's no different than the drive from Atlanta to New York.
Yeah. Honestly, the worst part about driving north from Miami is the leg of exiting Florida, because it's just a very long, like it's kind of like going from South California to North California or getting out of state, because it's just like this very long vertical journey of like, when does the state end, you know? Because it takes like maybe like 8 or 9 hours or more. I mean, that's like not really stopping to leave Florida. And then after that, it's like
a lot of it's
breezing through all the states, you know?
Yeah, it's the traffic. It's the Florida traffic.
Yeah. But same thing happens with California. Well, the thing about California is that you can take the PCH, and at least you get a little bit of like this, you know, romantic, scenic route, right? It's a little bit different. In Florida, it's like all swamps is what you get, which is cool. But you know, it's not as cool as seeing these like very dramatic cliffs and, you know, the Pacific Ocean and stuff like that. It's a different landscape for driving for hours on end.
Henry has an interesting question. What do you guys think about so many people leaving California and going to places like Texas?
Oh, he means the big city exodus.
I think it's kind of bullshit, to be honest with you, but
I don't think that it is.
I don't know about Texas.
I think it isn't if you are middle class or broke or whatever, but I think if you're rich and you're whining about LA, I mean, you can do what you want with your money, but I think you're kind of like, okay, LA, you made all, it's like when people that have money are like, oh, I'm getting out of New York. It's like, okay, you made all your money, you made your connections, you made your clout here, everything the city did for you. And then you want to do nothing but trash it after you've made it. You fought your whole life to get here. It gave you everything you wanted. And now you want to like flip it the bird. I don't mind you moving. It's the fact that people are talking trash about it. That's
you know, I don't. Here's the thing. I don't really feel like it's okay. First of all, my thoughts on people leaving, you know, big city exodus. I don't think it's a bad thing, and I think that it is a legitimate thing. I feel like a lot of people have moved to these big cities for opportunities, because up until now, you needed to be in a big city to have opportunities. But I feel that with COVID, there have been, and I'm saying personally, I've known people who their companies, because of the fact that they've switched to online, it's the structure is different. And because of that, they now see that they can get a different way of life by living outside of the city, because not everybody, cities are cool, but not everybody wants to live in a city. Some people go to city for the opportunity. And so that, you know, and yeah, that falls in between, you know, the middle class and the working class and all that stuff.
I'm talking more about like the celebrities that say they're leaving, people like Rogan, people who are like multimillionaires who are like, and but by the way, they're also keeping their LA property. They're like, oh no, it's that they're pulling this, I hate LA and I can't do anything and I have no freedom. It's like, but you have almost unlimited freedom. And a lot of that comes from, because like I'll be the first person to tell you there's things that money can't do, but like not having freedom isn't one of them. So,
right.
Like that's first of all, and then two, if it's a COVID thing, there's not a like to my answer to COVID is like, okay, so you're leaving California, where they kind of tried to mandate things and no one obeyed, versus Texas, where they're kind of not even mandating things, and even if they did, no one would obey. Like that doesn't work for me logically. Of like, that'd be like, oh, that'd be like going from either of those places to Florida or Georgia. It doesn't help. Like,
yeah,
it wouldn't help.
Yeah,
so
I think
that's kind of how I feel.
Miami is a relatively big city. I mean, we have a very big population, and we have skyscrapers, and you know, it's a big city, much bigger than Atlanta, but it's also very spread out. It's kind of like Los Angeles, so it is possible to have kind of like a non-city life and still be in quotes Miami.
Yeah.
But then benefit from, you know, going to the clubs or doing, you know, going to the beach.
You can do that in certain parts of Georgia too. Yeah. There's
So,
some parts of Georgia you can do that. Yeah.
So I think what it is, but you know, prior to now, people would have to come directly to Miami and be like, oh, I need to live like on Lincoln Road. I need to live, you know, on Miami Beach, or I need to live like in downtown in order to do stuff and hustle and do the thing. But I mean, there's people that I meet every week, like by networking, who live an hour or an hour and a half away. And because of things like Zoom and, you know, all that stuff and Skype and everything, like it doesn't matter. We can run our business from wherever. What Chef in the chat says that USA was on my travel list this year, pre-COVID. Wanted to drive across the country. Hopefully get there one day.
I hear you, buddy.
I will say, what Chef, that I have traveled through all of the U.S. I have been to every single state except Alaska.
What?
Wow.
So and Hawaii. I've only been to Maui, so I don't really count Hawaii, but I've been to Hawaii. And I have to say that the U.S. is one of the most beautiful countries to drive through, and it has just the different landscape, the diversity of landscapes that you'll find in any given day. Just driving through any highway is fascinating and breathtaking, especially when you go through any mountain range. Any mountain range is truly impressive. And whether you like, without getting controversial or anything like that, but you look at these landscapes and you really appreciate what it is to be alive and what it is to be human, because it's kind of, it almost makes you feel small. Like, I can't believe that I live in this country, you know, and I can't believe that this is a thing, and that these mountain ranges exist, and that this lake exists.
How would that be controversial?
Well, because I was getting into it, the fact that I was going to get into it where, you know, you could say that it's God or the universe or whatever it is. Like, it's almost like a religious experience, kind of, or a spiritual experience. And some people might find that very, like, it's controversial, right?
Only if they're looking to be offended.
Right. Well, that's why I prefaced it, where I respect people's opinions, and not everyone wants to believe in something that's like higher or anything like that. And I do think that, you know, just being able to be in the presence of these landscapes does really put things into perspective. And the U.S. is one of those countries that has very beautiful, it's beautiful land. It's very, very lovely, especially when you're going through national parks.
Oh God, yes.
It makes you really appreciate nature and all of that stuff. So if you're gonna go road tripping, USA is probably top in that.
Yeah.
And I haven't
maybe
been
Canada.
Canada is also beautiful. And I haven't been to Australia or Iceland, but I believe that those two, from the road trips I've seen of other people, it seems like those two countries are also very, very great for road tripping as well. Obviously, every country has its has its beauty and its garbage. So
let's pivot real quick. Like, Audrey selfishly wanted today's topic to be able to figure life out from and benefit from our vault of experience and our many years on this planet. So why don't we indulge her in that?
All right. Well, my first tip is watch a goofy movie. Don't turtle me.
And my tip is you can learn everything. And my tip is you can learn every valuable lesson life has to offer by watching all of Star Wars.
Debatable.
I would argue, I would argue that to watch Star Trek instead, but we won't get into it. This is a tug of war. Audrey's right smack in the middle of Star Wars and the Star Trek. Poll.
Wait, Romina, you can give me LA advice because you live there.
LA advice?
Yeah.
What kind of advice do you want? Stay away from the crazy parties.
Especially now.
Yeah.
No, like
Stay
what's something that you would want
influencers.
to know before you move there?
You know, I managed to survive in LA without a car. That's one thing that like most people are like, how do you do that without a car? I managed to do it. LA transportation is average at best, the public transportation. So it does help to have a vehicle. One thing is LA has multiple ethnic neighborhoods. Like it's not just Chinatown in Little Tokyo. Like we have Little Ethiopia, we have Filipino town, we have Japan town, they have Little Armenia. There's also a Mexican neighborhood. There's a ton of different ethnic neighborhoods. So if you want to go and try really like travel the world without leaving LA, you could. And there's what's cool about it is because you can always try it. There's so much food, you know. I mean, you can eat Ethiopian food and like try all this stuff. There's a really great place. So there's two Japanese neighborhoods. So there's Little Tokyo, which is in the Arts District in downtown, and then there's Japantown, which is on Sawtelle, and that's closer to Santa Monica. You go to Japantown. All right. Japantown has cute little shops. Not only that, but if you go to this neighborhood, in Santa Monica, there's a street. No. This is helpful to you. I'm going to explain something to you. There is a Japanese dollar store. It's called Daiso. You're going to want to go to Daiso because you're going to get all of the things that you need for very cheap. This is a dollar store, but it's not the dollar store that you go that like, you know, your aunt goes to. This is like premium stuff that you actually will want to use, and Japanese products too. It's cheap. This is the equivalent of going to a dollar store. But it's great. You're going to get like, you can get silverware, you can get glassware. I'm talking like, this is extremely helpful because you can't get, there is no Daiso anywhere else. All right. This is in LA. This is going to help you because you're over there counting pennies. All right. So it's going to help you.
I go to Daiso to get everything.
Plus, if you find Daiso, the one that's in Santa Monica, right next to it, there is a tiny sushi place that's conveyor belt sushi, and it's $2 per plate. So you just go there, you grab whatever plate you want. Each one is $2. So it's like the sushi just comes to you. What did you say? What did you just say?
It's controversial.
Wow.
I don't like sushi, Romina.
Wow.
Blasphemy.
Okay. All right. So
blasphemer.
But
this is the second time
Star Wars and the sushi.
Oh my God.
My
They're
presence.
gonna
Really?
I'm gonna be canceled.
Our audience is going to leave us 1 star.
Audrey's over party. That's it.
Audrey's over. Oh,
See,
no.
Nick is with me on the sushi. I'm not the only one.
Blasphemy.
Wow. Okay, wait, I need to write that down. Daiso.
Yeah, Daiso.
See, this is great.
All right, I have some non-specific LA life advice.
Well, you gotta ask me questions. You're asking me something. I was there for over a decade.
You were, which is dope.
I've got 12 years of experience and stuff. You gotta narrow it down. You can't.
I feel like I'll have more specific questions once problems arise, or I'm like looking for something specific.
All right,
I'll be like, Romina.
Some non-specific general LA advice in this particular case, and you've lived on your own before, but watch Graham Stephan every damn day. That's like, honestly, for real though.
I mean, yeah, that's just generally good advice, no matter where you live.
Yeah, watch Graham Stephan every day and embrace financial minimalism and extreme frugality, because LA is nothing but a series of temptations and money traps. There will be all kinds of just little things and little conveniences, and LA can, even when you're just vacationing there, let alone if you live there, and I've talked to my friends about this, is like LA can make you lazy. LA can make you lazy, and it's too convenient to spend money instead of put in effort to do something. Like cooking, for example, you will eat up so much money in just ordering out food and Uber Eats and Postmates, or eating out all the time. Like, that's what really eats up people's money in New York and LA, is the food, believe it or not. And the food is great. And there's like, so if you're gonna eat out though, go to mom and pop places though. If you're gonna go and you're gonna eat out,
$2 sushi.
Like if you're not gonna do $2 sushi, which is like my dream.
It's criminal.
It's
where have you ever heard of that, Roberto? $2.
I'd kill for that right now. It's like who's got to go?
Okay, here's another thing. Mexican food, plenty. Go to
and it's cheap.
And it's cheap. Here's my guidelines for finding. Here's my guidelines for finding an actual Mexican restaurant, and not an Americanized version. The issue with the Americanized version is aside from a ton of other issues, is the fact that they bump up the price far more than if you go to an authentic restaurant. Plus, it's also going to taste
lower quality, higher prices. Lower quality, higher prices. That's the American way. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. God forbid.
If a burrito, if a bean burrito on the menu costs more than $8, you are not at an authentic Mexican restaurant.
Got it.
Okay, those are the guidelines. I'm just telling you, like, you don't have to eat the burrito. You just look at the menu and you see, oh man, they're charging $12 for a bean burrito. It's overpriced.
Run away.
Food trucks are your friend. Food trucks are your friend.
Food trucks are amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got no Postmates, no burritos over $8.
Right.
Daiso. Graham Stephan.
Load up your Uber or Lyft account, load it up with money, and budget yourself a predetermined kind of scenario, and learn how much it costs to get from point A to point B, and learn what the cycles are for the rides being cheaper. Like, learn the timing if you're going to use that kind of thing. Learn the timing and learn when it's cheap to get somewhere versus when it's expensive, and learn the traffic patterns too. Learn that cycle of when it's going to take longer to get somewhere than it should, and think about
something else to think about is parking.
Yes, it's terrible.
There's a lot of areas that have very bad parking, and sometimes it might even be better for you to just ride share there. Because it depends on what it is that you're doing. But if you're going to be spending like 20 minutes looking for a parking, you're spending more money because you're spending more time.
Yep.
So if you can just go, like if you have like a meeting or something and you can just go, and pay $10 or $15 as opposed to like having to go and, look for parking for 20 or 30 minutes and then pay for parking. And then you have to go to your car after like an hour or 2 hours to pay for parking again, or move your car. It's it's an added stress. And this only applies to some areas of the city. Also, okay, places to work at. Now, I don't know how it is right now because I'm not sure as far as is Rona and if it might have ruined some of these places.
Rona ruined everything.
But there's a great place called T-Pop. And T-Pop is in North Hollywood. And it is really, they also have another location, I think, in downtown, or well, they were opening it or did open it. I'm not sure. I never actually went to that one. I used to go to the one in North Hollywood all the time. Very open, very friendly. They have cafe, tea, and all that stuff, art. They're very friendly for like remote workers and things like that. People showing up there to write their scripts and things like that. There's also Republic of Pie. It's also in North Hollywood. Yes. Republic of Pie. They play live music at night. Again, this is pre-corona. They play live music by local musicians. Like anybody can just be like, hey, can I play a set? And they go and play, and it's a very cool, chill vibe. But they have a ton of different pies. So savory and sweet pies. Republic of Pie.
That place sounds incredible.
You can go there and work. Again, this place is kind of like Amelie, where everything is like different types of furniture. Like, you know, they have like some sofas and, you know, stuff like that, where it's all like leftover parts, right? And they kind of just like put it there together. And it's kind of like bohemian cool. And, you know, a bunch of hipsters go there to work on their scripts. This is what you're going to see. People are going to be working on their scripts. Every cafe that you go to. There's also another place on Sunset, which I also don't remember what the name of it is right now, which is pretty good. Outlet situation is limited. It's fairly small, but it's a very nice place to go and work.
Okay.
Great. This is Hot Chocolate and Churros is in Santa Monica. There's a tiny little place. Also, if you ever need massages, you got to go to the Thai. The Thai massages.
So specific.
Let me tell you something. You can get a Thai massage for $20, $25, $25. You can get a full body massage.
I have several jokes that I'm not going to make now.
All right, we're not getting there. Okay,
I said I'm not going to make those jokes because it's 2020 and I can't make those jokes anymore.
No, I mean the thing is, it's not a joke. It's a legitimate thing. But you know, we don't talk about that. It's, you know, if you're there for that, then you're there for that. But you can also go there and have a legitimate, wholesome massage. You know what I'm saying?
Wholesome massage.
There's two sides to every business, Roberto. You know this.
No.
The dark side.
Exactly. I'm not on the dark side. I'm just there to get a couple of my bones cracked and call it a day. All right. But this is 20. All right. Another thing that you're going to find. LA. Very cheap manicures and pedicures. You don't get that in Atlanta. In Atlanta, it's like $30 is what it costs.
There.
In LA, you can get it for $18.
Haircuts
is
are
the lowest
overpriced.
that I've gotten it. Is the lowest that I've gotten.
Overpriced in LA. Haircuts are overpriced in LA by far.
Yeah, that's because they require licensing and a whole bunch of other stuff. That's why they're so expensive, is because of the regulations of, which is stupid. I mean, you know. Anyway, that's a whole other conversation.
The LA taxes are,
it's a whole other conversation. All right. I just need to know that you know how to cut. I don't need to know that you paid X amount of money to cut. Anyway, here. But there are places where you can get your hair cut at relatively low price. I never found a place in Atlanta that had a comparable price to LA as far as cutting hair.
I feel like
it was more expensive in Atlanta.
I feel like me and Romina could probably end up doing like an entire dissertation on regulations and taxes and it would be entertaining because everyone would just watch us try.
Do you want me to get upset?
No, like everyone. I'm saying the entertainment value would be everyone watching us struggle not to break everything in sight, like, and not to turn red-faced. Like that would be the entire entertainment value of that episode.
Maybe someday when I don't care about being canceled.
Facts.
Like Facts. When I have FU money, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, for real, right?
When like, I get to Rogan level.
Oh yeah, when we get to that, like that, you know, there's some truth in that, and like, but he didn't need the 100 mil for that. But yeah, there's some truth in like the Rogan has the luxury of saying whatever the hell he wants. There's
right, because whatever you want to cancel me, that's fine. I got 5 million other people who will continue to follow me, so it's all right.
Not only that, but again, he has the money to like literally be like, guys, I'm not stopping. Like,
right. He also has the money to stop. He also has the money to say, I'm going to stop. He has the money
to stop, but that's a reason to not stop because he could literally lose every sponsor. No one could sign him and it wouldn't matter. Rogan has enough money to build his own comedy club and go on stage every night that he wants to.
Yeah, I think he's kind of just like he's kind of just like a train. And it's just like, you get off my track because I'm not going to stop.
Yeah. It's like, you know what? The R train's coming through. It's like the JRE train. The JRE train is coming through. Better get off the tracks, homie.
Oh, whoa. Man. Let's see. What else?
The Joe Rogan Express is coming through.
Oh, this is very, very important. Okay.
Yes.
Don't go to Hollywood Boulevard during Halloween time. Because you will run into Chucky and he will follow you and it is not fun.
What? Chucky Cheese?
No, real Chucky. No.
She doesn't understand. She doesn't know that reference.
Have you not seen Chucky? Do you not know Chucky? No. Why are you blinking at me?
No, because Chucky for her is Chuck E. Cheese and Rugrats. Chucky is Rugrats and Chuck E. Cheese for her.
Chucky.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't know Child's Play. She doesn't know Child's Play. It's before her time.
All right, you know what? Never mind. I take it back. Go to Hollywood Boulevard. Okay. Get chased by Chucky. I want to see it now. I want to see it.
Wow, Romina got vindictive real quick.
Yeah, look it up and it's Chuck E. Cheese.
No, there's no. You're spelling it wrong. How are you spelling it? Please tell us how you're spelling it.
Oh, okay, found it.
Romina, like let her stay innocent, Romina. Let her stay innocent. Like don't
I found it like a weird doll.
Okay, can I explain to you the story behind Chucky? You don't know anything about Chucky? Chucky is
chased by Chucky, like a life-size doll.
I'm talking about a small person that is cosplaying as Chucky. He is there every year, and he freaking every time that I've gone. The last time that I went, he followed me through all of Hollywood Boulevard because he knew I was freaked out. I was eating across the street at a restaurant by a window. And when I looked out the window, I'm not kidding you, he was across the street looking right at me. And he grabs his knife and he goes,
oh my God.
I'm not even kidding. He slits his hypothetically slits his throat while looking at me from across the street through the restaurant window. This is a true story. Okay.
Oh my God.
I remember
this is real.
Halloween of being chased by a maniac with a chainsaw.
I love haunted houses. They do that in Georgia.
Yeah.
At the
Oh, okay. So if we want to talk about places where you should go in Halloween, there is Toluca Lake. Write that down. This is important. This is where Steve Carell has his house, or had. I don't know if he's still there.
He probably still owns it.
Andy Garcia, George Lopez, Miley Cyrus had a house there. She does not have a house there anymore. This was when she was a lot younger.
Back in the Hannah Montana Disney days.
Yes. So this neighborhood is where a lot of top celebrities live, but not only top celebrities, but just people who go all out. And I'm talking like they deck out their lawns with like tombstones and like all of the Halloween decorations. There's a guy, this family that they turn their front lawn into like they have a different theme every year. One year they made it into a zombie thing, and it was fog machines everywhere.
That's dedication.
And they just had like the whole family was completely like, everybody had makeup like zombies and stuff, and they were just like rah, and like, you know, come out at you, and like you'd see them. All you were doing was walking up to their door to like grab some candy.
Zombies or slow zombies?
Combination. I'm talking like these people are they're dedicated. They have like the chainsaws.
The
like
zombies
this is like for real.
are Romero zombies. So they
okay, that's a whole other that's a whole other discussion here. But Toluca Lake
Halloween this year.
Okay, but next year
look at the lawns.
Look, I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe they'll come up with something where everybody does it in their car. You know, people get creative in times of, you know, when there are constraints.
Yeah, it could be trunk or treat.
Yeah. I mean, you don't know. But listen, that whole neighborhood, super fun, but also really wholesome because a lot of families go there. It's like, it's super, super nice. And like, everybody's there. Like you never know who you're going to run into. I ran into Octavia Spencer one year, like trick-or-treating. We were just like, I literally bumped into her and I was like, oh my God, it's Octavia Spencer. And she was just there trick-or-treating with her family. Like, it's really, really cool. Steve Carell gave me candy one year. Like, it's really, really fun. Aside from the fact that you can literally just walk down the street and just admire everybody's decorations and stuff, it's truly really a fun experience.
When I lived in North Carolina, the cosplay community went all out for Halloween. Like, and we also had a zombie walk downtown all the time every year. Hang on, my dog wants to leave my room.
Let's see. Oh, well, you know, there's a lot of hiking in LA. I mean, a lot. So you'll find out about it. Runyon Canyon. I mean, there's just a lot of them. I'm not even going to go into that because I feel like you can just Google it and you'll find a blog post with like 26 different hiking spots.
Avoid Jake Paul and avoid Bryce Hall.
Yes. Wow. If you see them, you just turn away. You turn around and you run the opposite.
You go to the other side of the street. You retreat on site. If you see douche bro influencers, retreat on site.
Wow.
Let that be a lesson to all of you. Yeah, I said it.
I mean, I feel like that's not controversial.
I don't feel like that's a controversial statement at this point.
Just run if you see any of them.
These douche bros are hazardous to your health.
Okay. All right, guys, I'm gonna share my screen here, which if you guys are listening to the podcast, you should really tune in on Thursdays at 8 p.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time because the live experience is truly
wondrous.
Wondrous. Let's see. I'm gonna share. How do I share?
You know what's really great? It's the best thing ever.
What's happening here? What's the best thing ever?
This podcast.
Oh. Well, yeah.
This episode has been so random. But hey, maybe there's someone else who's moving to LA and this will be really useful.
I don't think it was random. We've talked about some important things.
Yeah. Be cheap,
right?
Watch Graham Stephan, and avoid douchey influencers. What else do you need to know in life?
True.
All right, guys. Prepare to be amazed.
What are you showing us? Oh my God. Rita, why did you let him do that?
Scarred.
Guys.
You should have trigger warned us. Like, you should have trigger warned us and
guys.
We're going to get demonetized, Romina. This is violent.
We're gonna get community striked for screwing.
Guys,
YouTube is ruthless these days. Ruthless YouTube will just like straight up delete us.
Imagine this looking at you from across the street when you're just trying to enjoy a meal with your dad.
I was just trying to enjoy this podcast and now I can't.
Wait, we have to describe this for the listeners.
All right, guys. So do you want to do it for us? Audrey, why don't you describe this image?
It's a redhead man baby with scars on its face.
AKA Chucky.
And Romina is about to get her throat cut by that.
Yeah.
And she looks thrilled about it. Oh my goodness. But see, Romina, you promoted him to follow you by doing this.
Yeah, you encourage this. You encourage. You're an enabler. You're enabling this.
Look, you know what's really great though is that we settled our differences.
By him murdering you.
Like, look, it's so wholesome now.
You see, now we're friends. We're friends.
Like, is this before or after he murders you?
This is definitely before. You know, he cozied up. He cozied up to me.
Gave you a false sense of security and then went in for the kill.
And then waited for the kill.
Classic tactics.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Wait, why are you holding a mini him?
Because, well, why not?
Was that yours or was that his?
No, it wasn't. Audrey, I didn't plan this. This is literally what happens when you live in LA. This is what happened. You're walking down the street and freaking just Chucky shows up. That's just life in LA.
Wow. That's life.
And he was just carrying it because, you know, it's for the photo op. This is how these people make their money.
Yeah.
You know?
Amazing. It's like in New York. It's like Times Square in New York.
Yeah. It's like
LA
Times
Boulevard.
Square, New York.
LA Boulevard is basically Times Square.
Okay, another thing that's specific to LA. Look at the El Capitan Theater and try to go to one of their opening nights for a big movie. So it's Disney. You're mainly going to see like Disney movies there. But they have like some special screenings sometimes. It is expensive. So only do this when you've saved up a little bit and only like, you know, once in a while. Don't make this like a thing, right? This is when you've scored something, you go and reward yourself and do this. But it is a fun experience because they typically have a like show that they do before they show the movie. And the El Capitan is like an old school theater. And so they have balconies and all that stuff, like and curtain and a stage. So they have an actual show. They'll do a presentation before the actual movie. And so they'll have like for Pirates of the Caribbean. For Pirates of the Caribbean, I went to see Pirates of the Caribbean. I think the second one. I went to go see it at like 3:00 in the morning at El Capitan. It's so much fun. They had like people on stilts, like outside of the theater, like doing performance and stuff like that. And then when I went inside, they had a guy playing like the organ, like the theme song of Pirates of the Caribbean live, like on an organ. This is how they opened the thing. And everyone's like, what? Pirates of the Caribbean, right? And then El Capitan also has downstairs, they have a museum component. So they'll typically have like either props or costumes or just like behind the scenes stuff. So you can see how things were made. When they did Tron, like the new Tron movie, they had a laser show before the movie started. And they actually had one of the Tron bikes in the lobby, like the Tron bike with the lights. They had it in the lobby.
Light cycle is the word you're looking for.
All right. So that. So it's a cool experience.
Sounds cool.
It's also very LA. So there's never a dull moment. So you can't be like, oh, I don't know what to do. You know, it's
I'm bored.
Yeah, exactly. If I hear you say the words, I'm bored. Because there's always something to do and something fun. Plus the amount of museums. The Contemporary Art Museum is free.
Ooh.
Weird. I'm not okay. I won't say weird. Unique. Okay.
Okay.
Roberto, what was that cough?
It was the fact that it was dry.
Yeah. So a lot of free museums. Oh, there's also a free day, a free museum day. You can go to the house where they filmed Back to the Future. Doc's house.
That's cool.
So just look up Free Museum Day in Los Angeles, and you'll see when it is.
Is the ice cream museum still a thing?
I don't know if they made it. Maybe they made it a permanent thing.
I would have if I were them.
I think they might have.
Do you get to taste, like, is it like the Coke Museum where they have all the different types of
No, the ice cream museum was a pop-up Instagram museum. I'm calling them Instagram museums because that's essentially what they are.
Nice. That's a good idea though. An ice cream museum, and then you just can taste like all of them.
Well, that's just what an ice cream bar is. That's what an ice cream bar is.
Yeah, Audrey, you go to any place that sells ice cream and you say, "Hey, I want to try this. Oh, I want to try that. Or I want to try that," and then you just walk out.
They're legit fancy ice cream bars. Yeah.
You guys have been, right? The Coca-Cola World or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Like
I went to the Coca-Cola World before you were born, Audrey.
Yeah, but they didn't have the cheap things back then with like all the different types that exist. Like that, but ice cream.
All right, so now we know what your next business venture is.
Yes.
Unbelievable. All right, guys. I think we should probably start wrapping this up soon. Do you have any other questions, Audrey? Since we've presented you with many problems, but you haven't asked any questions.
I feel like I don't know yet because I'm sure things are gonna pop up once I get there. But for right now, I don't really know. Nothing like springs to mind, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But this is great. I wrote everything down. So
I see. Well, Roberto, do you have anything else to add? Or are you thinking of an outro?
I have my outro.
Ooh. Dang. All right. Well, I have nothing else to add. I think I've blabbered on enough for the past hour. So take us out, Roberto.
Thank you for listening to No Assembly Required Podcast, a podcast where we talk about nothing, filmed in front of a live YouTube audience. No audience members were harmed during the filming of this episode, only the feelings of my co-hosts. Speaking of which, this is your trio signing off. So say farewell and so long to Romina, the LA Exile, Audrey, the East Coast Betrayer, and of course your Dark Lord of the Internet, Roberto Blake. Thank you for joining us once again on the No Assembly Required podcast, filmed live 8 p.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time, where you can find us on youtube.com/noassemblypod. Please, if you enjoy the program, leave us a 5-star rating. I'm insisting on 5 stars. I don't care. Just give us the 5. And, of course, leave us a review with your thoughts, but only if they are praising our excellence. Thank you so much for listening. NARP.